Hey guys, Terry here. Got one more Brother ScanNCut video, and then I'm going to do one about the Cricut software because I'm getting questions about Cricut. So what I wanted to show you on this video was scanning an image. Like for example, this is out of a Close to My Heart. I think it was the 2015 catalog. So I scanned this using the scan mat. This mat is not sticky, it's just got the cover sheet on it. So you put whatever you're scanning inside the cover, and then you load it in your mat just like you do your normal one with the sticky mat. But I was able to scan this image and save it, and then I was able to resize it and then cut it on paper for the size that I wanted to cut it. And it even had the little puppy heart on it. I scanned the bone in the foot too, but I only cut out the puppy. So I thought that was pretty good. I wanted you guys to know that you can scan this. And this scanned really well because it was a nice solid image. I did notice that on his ear it had a little bump here. But overall it scanned really well, and I think it was because it was a high contrast between the black and the white. So wanted to tell you about that. I think it worked really well. And then another thing that I did in just learning how the ScanNCut works, I stamped a bunch of images from different stamp sets, and this one is a sticker, or no, I die cut that one. That one's from a die cut, and then this one is stickers. So it was interesting to just play with these things and stamp a whole bunch and then scan it and then see what the machine does. I thought it was interesting. These little guys here, the little guys cut really well. Scan and cut. Again, it had a little, every once in a while there's just a little thing, and I'm not sure why yet. But overall he scanned really well. The elephant scanned real well. Again, this little cutout here on that. So I'm still learning, but overall I was really impressed. This one, and I cut these with a little bit of a border. You know, it scanned around it, and I think I did the .04 border around it. This little guy scanned well. Again, not sure what made it go out here, considering that it scanned all around, and then this one came down. I'm not sure why. Here's one where I did a word, and it did pretty well. This one's a little crooked there, but overall, I mean, if you wanted to cut that out and then cut it again a little bit bigger on solid cardstock, you could mat that. This one again, all those little leaves and berries came out really well. Again, see the little hiccup it did here? I'm not sure why it did that. Still learning. But overall it came out. This was neat if you wanted to back stickers onto cardstock and cut around it. This little heart sticker stamped well, or cut out well. So continuing to learn. This little guy here, this one came out good. Again, not sure what this little thing was, other than that's how the little feet are. So maybe it saw that. And the little egg. Again, nice solid cut here, and then I don't know why it expanded around the feet. So, still learning the fine settings. But today I think what I want to record is this. I learned something new today. I'm gonna scan around these stamps and see how they do with the shapes, and then I'm going to show you something with the happy birthday words here. So let's scan this and see what it looks like on after it scans. Load this in. I'm going to tell it to scan. Direct cut on the machine. Okay, so this is scanned. And I'm going to zoom into my shapes here. Let it recognize. And I mainly wanted to play with, when you stamp an image, does it see it clearly? I've done it in green ink. Okay. So I'm hitting OK, and then I'm going to zoom in to show you. So here's the leaves. It seemed to get it really good. This was an experiment here because the ink was really light on the tip of the leaf, and you can see how it's a little jagged there. So this was a nice crisp impression with the stamp, and then this one not so much. This one, it's got the pencil line around it, and this one it's got a dark pen line around it. And then there's the happy birthday. We'll get to the happy birthday in a minute. So let's go back here. I'm going to take the happy birthday off for a second. Just do the leaves. I'm going to cut these out because I want to see how it does with the pencil and the pen marks around the leaf. Okay. I'm going to put a little distance around the shape and then tell it to cut. Okay. Now notice these little tick marks here. I can actually edit those out. I go back in here. Well, I did direct cut, so I can't edit it. Let's see here. I can tell it to ignore the object size. And since those are smaller, they'll come out. Trying to zoom in to see if the words have gone away, and they haven't yet. Try that. There, they went away. Okay. So now we'll say cut. And make sure I told it the distance around it. And then I'll tell it to cut. Okay. Unload that and show you how those came out. So the idea behind the pencil line is if you have a shape where you do need to give it a better border, you could pencil mark it and then erase it and then get your image. This one here with the pen cut really well. You can't erase the pen mark, but I think that looks pretty sharp. This one here is just the stamped image, and that cut really well. And then here's the one with the ink that wasn't quite dark on there, but it scanned it pretty well. The thing I've noticed is you've got to have plenty of light around the scanning when you do this. So let's go to the happy birthday part next. Okay, we're going to scan the happy birthday that I stamped. Okay, I stamped it twice. We're going to scan, direct cut to the machine, start. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. I stamped it twice, and this is a stamp that the letters are actually not joined. So you can see here when I zoom in, notice how each letter, it wants to cut around each letter. Okay, that was the normal stamp. Now what I did on the second stamp was I drew a pencil line from letter to letter. So I just have a pencil line going from this letter to that letter to that letter, just little not dash lines, but it's connecting each letter, and I can erase those lines. So the idea is, notice how it scanned those letters. I don't want individual letters cut out. I want to cut around the whole thing. And matter of fact, I want to put a little border on it. So I'll say OK. And then I can tell it to cut these. So I'll cut these so you see what they look like. Okay. Now if I wanted to, I could put a solid piece of cardstock on my mat right here and then tell this to cut a little bit wider, and then I would have a piece to mat behind that stamped image. Okay, but let me show you how this came out here on the mat. So this one down here was the one that I was kind of had the end goal in mind. So this one here, and that's with just a 0.4 around it, but I can erase these pencil lines. The pencil just added enough to the image so that it would see it all as one great big connected piece. It's kind of a way of welding the letters together. And then, like I said, I could cut this out. I could put a piece of cardstock, take this, before I took the mat out, I could have removed this white piece, put another color down here, and cut that same shape a little bit wider. I also could have, if I hadn't done a direct cut, if I had done the, let me show you on the menu. If I had done, when I did scan, if I had told it to scan to cut data, it would have then saved the shape. And then I could reuse that shape to cut a piece to go behind it. And I could tell it, you know, how big I wanted it to be around. But this first one, the way it cut, it did every little letter. So notice that one, it did the B. This one, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, you could put that on your scrapbook page. Wouldn't be too bad. But the happy, it kind of cut each letter out. It really wasn't welded. So, just showing the two different ways to cut out that stamped image. I think it depends on the image, what you're trying to do. You could certainly glue down those letters, or you could have this and erase the pencil lines. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks, guys.